Songland is, in a nutshell, what happens every single day in LA, New York, London, Nashville, the major music cities of the world. It's pulling back the curtain on a songwriting session, a production session, like how hit records and songs in general are actually made, how they come together. They don't just fall from the sky. The amount of work and focus and kind of luck that all rolls into one little bouquet. Songland captures all of that. And to put it in it's hard because there's not, with a lot of TV shows, there's a lot of parallels usually to say, oh, it's like this, it's kind of like this, it's the next version of this, but there is no format or show that is Songland. I've been on tour for the better part of a decade with OneRepublic, and I've moonlighted on a number of shows around the world, from Holland to Australia to the UK to the US to The Voice US a couple times, where I was a mentor, and I would come in and participate in those roles, and it had, over the last 5 years especially, probably a half dozen shows ask me or make offers to be a judge or a panelist or whatever, and I passed on all of them because they just didn't feel right. They didn't feel authentic to what I do. And then one of the executive producers of The Voice approached me years ago and said, hey, we're developing this show that is literally you in a TV form. It's what you do every single day. It'd be the most natural. If you were ever to do television, this would be the most natural fit for you possible. And all these things had to line up. Stars had to align. I was like, well, I don't live in LA anymore. At the time, I didn't live in LA. I was like, I'm in Colorado, so I'd have to be back in Los Angeles for that to make sense. So all these things lined up. I moved back to LA. The show got greenlit. We shot a pilot, and it was so much fun that it led to me being a permanent person. I don't know what we even call ourselves. Writers, producers. I think producer is the term we're using right now. And ultimately, it's fun. It's what I do every day, just even more pressure. So if anything, I think Esther, myself, and Shane function at a higher level when we're on that set, because that kind of focused tunnel vision and that pressure cooker thing with cameras everywhere and the artist sitting right there, I can't show up and give a B- idea or performance. Like I have to be on my game every single time we walk on set. So if anything, it's probably made me a little sharper, which is kind of a cool side effect. Everybody from Kelsea Ballerini to Charlie Puth to Black Eyed Peas and John Legend. Speaking of legitimacy, I mean, the man's won an Oscar, an Emmy, a bag of Grammys, and a Tony. Black Eyed Peas coming back for the first time in 6 or 7 years and sourcing 2 or 3 songs off this show. You've got, it runs the gamut from country. Oh, we also did several of the major scenes in Hobbs and Shaw, the Fast and Furious spinoff, which is a $1 billion plus franchise. We wrote specifically we found songs from undiscovered writers for a huge feature film. I would have killed to get a cut like that 10 years ago. I'd kill to get a cut, have a single on Hobbs and Shaw right now, or a film like that. I mean, I still write for stuff like that now. A Jeep campaign. So we show different sides of music. It's not just about writing hit records. It's about TV. It's about film. It's about commercials. The sound music is everywhere. It's the soundtrack to your life. So there's so many facets and iterations of success in songwriting, and we're trying to touch on as many of them as possible in a 1 hour window. And the names that have come on this show are, world recognized, world renowned names. And I think after season 1, I have a feeling that the amount of names and level of names you're going to see on the show are going to go even higher, if that's possible. A show like Songland gives you that opportunity whether you're a 45-year-old housewife in New Hampshire, or a soccer coach in Dallas, or a 19-year-old jazz student in Seattle. We've had all kinds of people submit songs for the show. And on the subject of authenticity and fun, this is a show I would have killed to have auditioned for or submitted a song for when I moved to LA.